Ahí están viendo a Kristóf. Sí. Ok, cuando estén listos. Vale.
Good day to everyone. My name is Kristóf Fenyvesy. I'm from Finland, and I would like to talk today about experiencing STEAM and Sinergias in action. That's the title of my talk. I'm from the University of Jyväskylä, which is in central Finland. I work here as a senior researcher of the Finnish Institute for Education and Research. And I also have a few other affiliations, which you can see on the screen. Most of these affiliations are connected to STEAM education, so I also would like to present some international of this summer school. This project is connected to teacher education, so we are focusing on how to improve mutually the South American and the Finnish teacher education with STEAM methods. Our coordinator is the University of Eastern Finland, and also my university from Jyväskylä is the second Finnish university to join the consortium, and we have quite a few members from Uruguay, from various universities, and the Faculty of Agrar Sciences is our coordinator in Uruguay. You can see our team members in this photo. So in this project we are focusing on curriculum development. We are co-designing, developing and piloting STEAM education related teacher training curricula, and we have joint training and development events in this workshop. You can see our timeline on this slide. It was a very interesting opportunity for us to visit Uruguay, for me for the first time in last February. And we launched a webinar series, and our Uruguayan partners also paid a visit to Finland in last September. And now we have also an upcoming webinar. It's called From Challenges to Potentials. So we are focusing how to turn disadvantages maybe coming from the context, from the national curriculum, the different expectations or different kind of settings, and how to turn these challenges into advantages for STEAM education in the teacher education context. In this May, we will have another visit, another mobility program to Uruguay, which I'm really looking forward, and we are getting close to the finalization, the culmination of this project, and I'm really happy to invite you to follow this project. Here you can see our social media and different kind of links. So you are welcome to search the Google app, our project, and find in different media. Here is some photos from the Uruguayan team joining to, for example, Europe's largest science popularization event. This is called the Researchers' Night, and our Uruguayan partners made, for example, a workshop related to mate culture, but we had a lot of school visits and different kind of experiences which were connected to the Finnish STEAM education. Our partners from Eastern Finland are focusing on craft teaching and learning, so STEAM is a real good tool to revitalize craft education in Finland. And our own team from the University of Jyväskylä are members of the Innovative Learning Environment Research Group, which I'm working for as a senior researcher. So here, if you take a photo of this slide, you can remind yourself, you can put in your calendar for April 7, 10 a.m. Uruguayan time to join our webinar if you get interested. So, to say a few words about my own institution, I work in the Finnish Institute for Educational Research. This is an independent institute of my university. We have national and international responsibilities. Our goal is to popularize educational research as such. And even if you didn't hear about our institute directly, but you certainly heard about our work, because many of the OECD related larger surveys, data collection is done by my colleagues. So we are the institute which has the national responsibility to collect, for example, PISA data from Finland, TIMSS data, and quite a few other larger scale surveys data is collected by us. Actually, we have now a very interesting project taking place, which is focusing on this data, because we think that we have an opportunity to have also a longitudinal view on the based on these surveys in our educational system, in our educational reality, and we implement data mining, deep learning, machine learning, different kind of methods related to technology, to artificial intelligence, to have more information, more knowledge, more learning throughout this data, because this may be utilized just from a certain perspective for these surveys, but this can tell much more to us about educational changes, our educational transformation in the timeline. Our Innovative Learning Environments Research Group is focusing on multidisciplinary areas. So we are really looking at the learning process from a different point of view. So the environment for learning, of course, in the first place, means also like a natural environment. So we are very interested about sustainability, about planetary responsibility, planetary well-being, how it relates to the learning process. But of course, when it comes to the learning, then the environment also means like a physical environment where the learning happens, or an online environment, so how technology also plays a role in the learning process. But it also can be a social, emotional environment, mental environment, psychological aspects that are also playing a role in associating this process. So we really focus on learning from the environmental perspective as a complex phenomenon, and our colleagues are specialists of different areas. So this is how our study field is coming together. So I would like to introduce you a few projects which are related also to well-being in learning, which I mentioned, also related to experience, different aspects of experience in learning, and also technology, which I mentioned, and of course STEAM, which will be the main topic of my presentation. So let me think about the well-being in schools, learning for well-being, learning throughout well-being, learning as a process in well-being. We can talk about a holistic framework for well-being. We are facing with quite a few challenges in education as a global trend. So there are also social challenges which are reflected in the schools. Of course, schools are not meant to exist in some kind of bubbles, but these are very much part of society, so very deeply rooted in our society, and we can see that this crisis, these challenges are very highly interconnected, very high level combined. So the environmental, economic, social, cultural, health-related processes are really highly complicated. And also, when we think about well-being, especially, for example, in a planetary perspective, it's clear that we need to consider well-being even beyond the human boundaries. So these are really big issues that education needs to take into account. So we have a project currently running, it's called Joyful Schools, actually also Jyväskylä at University, Professor Climate Scientists and colleagues are very important partners in this project. So we try to create a research-based well-being framework for teachers, so what can be implemented on an everyday basis, and also how school leaders, how policymakers can take a new look on well-being in schools, because we can recognize also that there are many different well-being contexts and concepts are come together, even colliding or come together harmoniously or not in this perspective of education. And we try to provide an overview of these different well-being concepts as a framework of our project. We try to have more awareness of these different levels of well-being, different contexts of well-being for the teachers, so they can provide a more like a needs-based education. So also we try to drive into the curricula, national curricula, to serve more the needs of the learners, to serve also the needs of the teachers in the system. So all these actors who are there in the system, it's not like a prescriptive approach, but something which is really flexible towards the needs, because we need also a high degree of flexibility. That's also a challenge to provide the high level education, also the high quality education to everyone in the society. So we also try to elaborate recommendations for curricular development. So when it comes to needs, of course, physiological, psychological needs, autonomy, relatedness, competency, we can see in this system. So we can also see that how important to make equilibrium, reach an equilibrium to put in balance these resources and challenges in these domains. Also important to develop the resilience in the system, and how the organizations need to be strengthened when it comes to well-being. So also how joyfulness and happiness plays a role in this, and how the responsibility towards ourselves and towards others plays a role. So we can see this is a very multi-layered concept, actually conceptual universe, what we need to build in this approach. So when we have done literature review, when we have analyzed that what kind of well-being concepts are the most referred, the most researched in the educational context, we could make a differentiation between these well-being concepts, these well-being levels, and also we were able to characterize them on a research-based way, so you can see this framework keywords on this slide, and the main characteristics related to these different well-being concepts. Now this diagram that you can see is driving our development of our MOOC. This is our currently under development, and we plan to deploy this MOOC, this massive online open course during this month for our teacher, and we are preparing a teacher training event which will take place in the next month in my university. So there are also some combinations, some kind of complex approaches to well-being exist. The very well known of these are the PERMA model, so positive emotions, engagement, relationship, meaning, accomplishment. These are the keywords in the PERMA movement, and you can see that aesthetic sensibility, divergent thinking, imagination, and play, these are all having their role in this context. So this starts to relate also to the STEAM multidisciplinary or transdisciplinary approaches, where you can see that the subjects are considered as part of a larger system, a more synergetic approach between different subjects, and even if it's a context of natural sciences or mathematics, then even those kind of aspects like art, aesthetics, creativity, divergent thinking, different learning styles need to be considered. So there is some kind of STEAM pedagogy, we can say, that can also play a role in bringing forward learning towards this kind of more complex conceptual perspectives like sustainability and also well-being related sustainability concept, which I mentioned, like the planetary well-being, for example. So we can see a trend that how we can put more emphasis on the creative processes, how we can use art as the incorporating element across the subject. So it's often asked what's the art role in the STEAM conglomerate. So art can make a connection many times, but also art can be imagination, can be a very productive resource for brainstorming. Also, problem solving can come very strongly as a drive in the pedagogical approach in the STEAM education, which can have also very fruitful effect also on the subject teaching level. So, how to develop the creative approaches to different challenges, and also concepts which I mentioned quite a few times in the planetary well-being. You can also see that, for example, when we talk about sustainability development goals, how many different sustainability concepts needs to work together in this approach. In Finland, we are very much emphasizing our connectedness to nature. So nature is our original framework, our original context. So this is also related to experience-oriented learning, or the so-called phenomenon-based learning. So how nature-based activities can also play a role in the curriculum, how we can develop our sensitivity towards environmental issues. So this is also quite important to consider when it comes actually to any subjects. So even in the advent of artificial intelligence, what we can see today, these aspects can be and need to be considered. And I would like to introduce to you a concrete example as my next topic, where we try to study that how generative AI, especially the visual generative AI, is used by students, and how it's used in sustainability, in the planetary well-being related context. And what we can learn from this, for our educational practices. So I would like to introduce you a concrete research project in connection with this. So we can see that how Gen AI, generative artificial intelligence, is reshaping various facets of human life in this human technology interaction aspect. And this human technology interaction is also very strongly affecting of our everyday learning. And still not too much studies when it comes to the visual generative AI, which could help us to introduce these technologies in learning on a responsible way. So responsible AI, responsible projects, related educational projects related to artificial intelligence. These are very much needed to see, to come across. And this is why this kind of experiments in the collection, this is very important. So we try to focus on this in this specific example, which I'm going to introduce now. So we contextualized our study in a science popularization exhibition. It was a STEAM exhibition, and we promoted sustainability through children art. In this exhibition, the children art had different formats. They had traditional art, to say so, like children painting, children drawing, to express their sustainability-related visions throughout mathematics. So these are mathematical artworks in the gallery space. We also offered quite a few active stations, interactive stations, like hands-on stations where students could use different kind of manipulative, different kind of hands-on construction toolkits to present their sustainability-related solutions, their prototypes. And among these stations, there was also a Gen AI station where students could use Bing and other kind of generative software, easy access generative softwares to produce also sustainability-related compositions in this exhibition context. And we collected data from 290 groups, one movement, like 3 to 5 students of 6th graders, Finnish 6th graders from 17 schools. And the students, as I mentioned, use AI to visualize sustainability solutions they ideated. So the theoretical background is related to this big column. I would like to just highlight child-computer interaction and AI literacy, because I was already speaking a little bit about sustainability education. So also, as these were Finnish students, the Finnish educational context was quite important in this, because this Finnish context is really encourage phenomenon-based learning. It's really encourage transversal competence development. So we really could fit very well our program into the Finnish curriculum. And then we had also a very nice, actually, international experience included in this STEAM project, because we invited our South African partners, so from another continent which is facing totally different sustainability-related challenges like Finland is facing. So we invited children from South Africa to create these mathematical artworks related to sustainability, which were inspiring our Finnish students to reflect more on their own sustainability-related context. And you can see also these artworks in this video. So this is how our gallery space were looking like. There were some digital displays, but we were putting a big emphasis to present the physical artworks from South Africa. In the gallery space, you can see that how many issues, how many topics were represented in these physical artworks. We also published a beautiful book together with our South African colleagues, which were summarizing even the larger context of this project. So you can see only like 30 artworks from this huge selection of our South African colleagues collected and still collecting. So we are really talking about many thousands of artworks, children artworks, which are connecting mathematics and the arts in this context. You can also see the stations, the information that we shared with the visitors. We also need to face with the limitations of this study. So thank you so much for your attention, and I would like to continue this discussion on some point, maybe in person in the future. And I wish you a very nice conference for the rest of your time in Argentina. Thank you so much.
Bien, muchas gracias. Perdón, pero que si no nos da tiempo para estar puntuales a la vuelta del almuerzo. Hoy sí